Thanks for watching, everyone, and welcome to Central Valley Today. I'm Alex Delgado. Stephanie Bainham is off today. I appreciate you being here because we're going to start off with a lesson in finances for your teenagers. Thank goodness, because they need it. So many parents want to learn about finances for their teenagers, so listen up. First of all, some information for you. Did you know that 54% of students never or even rarely discuss money with their parents? Without instruction at home or at school, kids won't be prepared to make informed decisions about their future. Well, that's where Senseability comes in, a nonprofit that teaches and empowers high school students to manage their money. Please help me welcome Roy Paul. He is the executive director of Sense with a C. Ability, and he's got some tips for us parents and for the kids. And I welcome you all the way from New York City. How are you, Roy?
I am good. So happy to be here in Fresno.
Because of the weather, or
because of the weather? Because I'm away from home.
Well, it's great to have you here because this is such an important topic. Many of us have teenagers, and I feel like many teenagers feel entitled to just getting money and getting things. Is that something that you've come across?
Not necessarily. I think a lot of the teenagers that I talk to, although I might be in a little box, they really are aware of how hard it is to earn the money that they have.
That's a good thing.
And a lot of them are working. Some are youth jobs. They're working, part-time, full-time jobs after college, and they understand. They work 40-hour week. They get that check, and they go, "Oh my God, what do I do with it?" Yeah. And so they're very responsible for the most part.
Tell me a little bit about Senseability.org and what you guys do.
So I love the story because we were founded in 2004 by two people, Alexa DuPont Bell and John Moore. Alexa came from the DuPont family, a very prominent family in the country. And John Moore came from a wealthy family, but a lot of people don't know the Moore, so he feels a certain way about that. We try to tell for him. But they were students at Harvard Business School, of all places. And despite going to a great school and having access to their family connections, they were struggling with their personal finances. So they said to themselves one day, look, we've got all of this access to money and resources. How did we get here, one? And then two, while we fix our own situation, we should give back. And I love telling that story because a lot of people think that only poor people have issues with their money. And there are a lot of people who have access to capital and just don't know what to do with it. And so they never really have a conversation about what do I do with all of this money? How do I manage it? And they start spending it frivolously.
Yeah, well, I would kind of call that a quality problem. But you're right. Money, like my mom says, always can go in a second, right? You can have it one day and the next you can't. So what do we do? What do we do? What do you teach, and how do you teach these students to manage their money?
Yeah, the most important thing, believe it or not, is to have the conversation. A lot of parents don't have the conversation with their young people, and people ask why. Why don't parents have the conversation? Well, we service, by and large, a large low-income population. So they're coming from families that don't have a lot of money. And so there's not really much of a conversation to have, right? Because a lot of parents are struggling with their own issues. And so we have a lot of young people, they say, well, what do we do? And I always say, start with the basics. Learn how to create a budget. 42% of Americans don't have a budget. That's not teenagers, that's Americans, that's adults. People who are working, sometimes low-income jobs, sometimes very high-income jobs, and they're not managing it very well. So we don't save very well in this country. So I say, start there. And if you don't know how to create a budget, I say Google is your friend, right? Just type it in. How do I create a budget? It's very simple. We teach the 50-30-20 rule. We like that because a lot of people say, even with the budget, we don't know how to manage our money. And 20% of that check, we always say, is to save. Put it away for a rainy day, don't touch it. A third of Americans don't have a retirement account. They haven't saved for their 30, 40-year career. They get to a point, they want to retire, spend time with their grandkids, go on cruises all over the country, and they can't do it. And so at the very basic, when teenagers are at the cusp, when they're right after college, they're graduating, they get their first job, I can't tell you how even some of my own friends get that HR packet where they outline what you can put into your 401k. Sometimes companies match what you put into the 401k plan, and people don't opt into it. They don't even pay attention to those very basic things. And so I say to young people, if you get a job and they give you that HR packet, read it. There's some there's valuable information in there.
Wonderful. So Senseability.org kind of walks you through the process, right? Is it for parents or is it for students? Because I know you have a module even where you teach us how to have goals and how to write goals down, how to budget, how to save, and how to use banking. Is that what the nonprofit does? Gives us access to that website?
Yeah. So we connect with schools and nonprofits, and I'm happy you brought this up because one of the things that we're trying to educate people on in this tour is that state by state, the education departments within those states run things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And so in California, for example, like many other states, you're not alone in this, there is no one-stop shop financial literacy curriculum for schools to follow. There are no heavy mandates. You're not, if you graduate high school, you don't have to take a certain amount of graduation courses in personal finance. And so what a lot of teachers do is they teach economics, but they don't teach personal finance. There's no mandate to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what we say is we have a curriculum, we have 8 modules, and we offer it for free.
Wow.
So if there is a school district or a school teacher, an economics teacher, or a high school principal who is here in Fresno, and they say, look, we don't know how to start talking about personal finance, they can contact us, and for free, no money, we will give them our curriculum so that they can embed it into what they're doing. And we love that because no one should have to pay for basic information like this, right?
Wow.
So it's a great way for schools and nonprofits to contact us, and we'll just give them all the information.
That is amazing. What a wonderful thing that you are offering here. There's the website, everybody, and I know there's a lot of teachers watching, but continue to watch because Paul is going to stick around and we're going to talk more money after this. But now we're talking about how kids can save for college and what they need to do for that. So stick around for that. We'll be back.